like little Oreos, and then you're going to make them big tires at the end. Find yourself at the top. Of course, you take a few there, and then you start to bring it back down. From there, we're going backwards. Same thing, starting small, making them bigger. And as you're decreasing, you're keeping those arms up because you're going right in to those hamstrings and chest openers. Similar movement. Just give me some butt kicks right there, guys. Butt kicks. Taking them slow if you need to, or you can, of course, get them as fast as you want to get going. From there, guys, marching or high knees. Again, faster you go, the more your body's going to warm up. Go ahead, spread those legs a little bit, guys. Just give you some normal squats. At the top, guys, go ahead, give me a toe raise. Let's spread it out a little bit. Down to one side. Stretching those interior legs as well as activating those glutes here, guys. From there, guys, we're either doing a few lunges here, slowing it down as much as possible. If we don't want to do the lunges, just give me a nice stretch down here, switching every 4 to 6 seconds between legs, or even 10 seconds if you want to feel that stretch a little bit longer. Because for those of us who are doing lunges, we might slow it down a little bit if we want to feel a little bit more of a stretch in that hip flexor, as well as getting that glute activating a little bit. Yeah, really want to get that lower body going, especially as we're going to be utilizing that pretty early on here. All right, guys, joining me up here, giving me those hip openers. And reverse. Somewhat. Oh, yeah, I saw that. Go ahead, guys. Break it there. Grab a drink of water. Yeah, he's been all over the radios. All right, guys, to start us off here, something we've done before, clock lunges. If we don't want to do clock lunges, we're going to do side lunges. But to demonstrate those clock lunges before we get started is straight off to the side or straight ahead, 45 degrees off to one side, horizontal, that's that side lunge, back 45, straight back, and then a curtsy lunge. If we don't want to do that, we're just sticking with some side lunges here. That's going to be our first activity. Obviously, if you're doing those clock lunges, you're switching whichever leg is moving in between, just as those side lunge people will be doing. We're going to go ahead and start that in 3, 2, and 1. Feel free during this time if you want to grab some weights here. Great opportunity to continue to get those muscles nice and warmed up. Just like that. Otherwise, I know sometimes you like to put them on your shoulders as well, if they're not moving too much with all the lateral movement. Everybody should be pressing through their heels of that working leg. So if you're those clock lunge people, you'll have a working leg that's always in front, or basically that leg that you're always pushing off. So if I'm moving this right leg, but then I start to step back and this left leg becomes bending, that becomes my working leg. So I'm still pressing through the heel on the other side, even though it's the right leg that's moving. You guys are giving me just 10 seconds here, 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Those weights are free to keep, and we're just gonna give me some squats here. Nothing special to start us off. Again, the same thing as we just talked about. Press through those heels as we come up, squeezing those glutes and those hamstrings to a full extension at the top. Try to not to let those knees come in. Try to keep them nice and out while we're going down, and especially while we're coming off. Sometimes that's when our knees like to cave in. So just being mindful of that as we're progressing through. In about 10 seconds, I'm going to give you guys an option. We're either doing a squat hold or we're doing a wall sit. These wall sits, parallel legs, 2, 1. You guys can choose which one you're either holding out there or you're giving me a wall sit. I'm letting you guys get in position here. 3, 2, you're holding there, guys. Everyone should be aiming, again, keep pressure through those heels. Try to get those thighs parallel to the ground and trying to avoid putting our legs on our upper thighs in order to give us some additional strength. 10 seconds, and I'm gonna have everyone transitioning back into squats again, just to get those blood moving after this isometric contraction. 2, 1, go ahead, raise. About 3 seconds here to transition. 3, 2, and just back to squats for me. I'm gonna have everyone in the squat position, almost like you're holding, but you're pulsing at the bottom. Join me right here, right now. Pulsing right here at the bottom. Again, try to keep that pressure on those heels. Even if that means the butt comes up a little bit more, try to avoid going forward on those toes. Keep the pressure on the heel. Might help to try to keep that torso upright. But you're pulsing for me for another 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Grab a quick drink, guys, and then we're going to stretch out with an active strengthening movement. It's going to be that straight-legged deadlift here. It's going to be really great for those hamstrings that just took a bit of a back seat, but still an active participant in all that squat and lunge movements. So again, we're doing 2 sets here in case I know some people like to do single leg squat or straight-legged deadlift. So you're going to have that option. But we're going, keeping that back straight, feeling that contraction or that stretch of the hamstrings. And that's our cue to come back up. I want to starting in 3, 2, and 1. Those first few reps might be a little bit more cautious, tentative as you're listening to your muscles, but as you get more comfortable, I want you to try to go as deep as you comfortably can with that stretch. That's what we call an eccentric motion. Great way to improve flexibility, great way to induce recovery in that area. Especially, again, kind of a point of us using this at this time. 15 seconds on this leg or this set, and then we're transferring over to the other one. Three, 2, 1, switching over here, quick transition. Other side, 3, 2, beginning. Trying to keep that back straight, especially if we have 2 legs. If we have just 1 leg, trying to avoid rotating too far out to the side, keeping that chest really go completely pointed to the ground. This is one of those movements where we like to keep our heel nice in contact, but because, especially if you're on 1 leg, you might feel a little bit of a balance component. You'll feel your toes maybe squeezing the ground if you're here on 1 leg, and that's okay. 3, 2, and 1. Guys, right there, we're going to take it on down to the mats here. And you're giving me a nice warm-up with some abduction. Again, targeting that glute. What thing we want to focus on is keeping those toes always pointed in front of you, avoiding letting them turn out. That does give us more range of motion when we turn out, just because we have that bony structure in that hip. But right now, we just want to target this small range of motion right here. And everyone's range of motion is going to be different based on where that bony protrusion is. For instance, gymnasts tend to be able to really get their leg up there without really any resistance at all, and it's more just of a genetic thing. 5, 4, 3, 2, and I'll have you guys switch over there. 3, 2, and begin. Same thing here, guys. Three, 2, and 1, guys. To conclude this, I'm actually just doing both legs on the ground now, just because we did a nice little pre-exhaustion with those hip abductions. Feel free to put weights on our hips, but we're going to activate those glutes one more time here with some glute bridges. Go ahead, starting that in 3, 2, and up and begin. I always say this, and I'll keep saying it, but at the top, try to take a nice little 1-second pause. In that 1-second pause, see if you can't get another inch off of it, just because we have so many different glute muscles contributing to this movement that sometimes those smaller ones can get their range of motion limited with those larger ones, or vice versa. So ten seconds here, guys. 10 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead, guys. Break there. Grab a water. Coming back with those small weights for a nice little shoulder circuit here. As you guys are grabbing this drink, I'm just going to demonstrate here what we're starting off with. And it's that lateral raise, front raise combo we've done before. We like it just because you can stay in the same positioning for these 2 movements. But I'm going to let you guys grab your weights here. Small weights is something I'd recommend starting with. We're going to begin here in 3, 2, 1. Go ahead. Lateral raise tough front raise. Slow and controlled the whole time. Try not to jump off the start or just drop those weights at the top. If you were to tell yourself to stop at any given moment, you should be able to control those weights at any point in that range of motion. Ten seconds, less than. 3, 2, 1. Here we're going back. Something else we've done before, it's a rear delt to that Y raise. Again, we like to do that Y raise just for postural control. But that rear delt, it's almost like going straight out to a T. And of course, that Y raise, those arms raised into a Y. Go ahead and begin right there, guys. These muscles, these two groups tend to be smaller than the other pair that we just worked. So really taking this one slow, making sure you have constant control of the weights. That's important for shoulder health. If you ever feel like one of them, especially that Y raise, might fatigue before the rear delt, stick with just the rear delt and feel free to take a little bit longer rest between those. But right there, guys, you can break. We're going back to those lateral raises, and this is when that fatigue comment is really going to play a part. We're starting at 2, 1. We're going to mix this one up here in 5 seconds. I'm going to have everybody holding out here for 10 seconds or as long as they can. I'm going to have everybody start down. I'm going to give us that start. If you can't last 10, that's okay. But we're starting here. 2, 1, everybody up, holding 10 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly coming down. We're doing the same thing on that front side, starting up in 2, 1, holding up here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly coming down here. Get in position for that rear delt and that Y raise. Again, these all muscles tend to be smaller than those other two. So be patient with yourself, but go ahead and begin 2, 1. Normal here, rear delt to a Y raise. Just like that, yep. Constant control, guys, trying to not let those reps get too quick. Pause there down here. Everybody's going to be joining me in that 10-second rear delt hold in 3, 2, and right up here, guys, 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly coming towards the center. And then from there, we're going to that Y raise. Again, this might be a little bit challenger, but 3, 2, and up to that Y. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly letting that one come down. Go ahead, set those weights down, guys. Shake out those shoulders, whether that means small rolls or whatever really is going to feel good for you guys. If you guys stretch it out, grab a drink here. So the shoulders aren't quite done yet. We're just going to transition to a more multi-joint focus. Moving around? Yeah. Yeah, no, it's pumping blood in that area. We're grabbing those heavier weights, guys, in just a second here. If you still got to shake it out. But of course, we're just going to take this into a normal row here. That's going to target that rear delt a little bit more, which we just worked. That's going to be our next activity. I'm going to give you guys another about 15 seconds before you join me here. Heavy weights, yep. About 10 seconds, and again, we're in that position we were just in for that rear delt with that hip hinge, back straight. 3, 2, 1. Pinch those shoulder blades before you begin that movement, and drive those elbows up. Normal tempo here, though, guys. Pinching those shoulders. Shoulder blades together, I cannot emphasize that one enough. And after you pinch those, you drive those elbows up towards the sky. Right there, guys. And just give me some bicep curls here quick. Two, 1. Once you guys go ahead, set those heavy weights down. Well, I'm going to have an option for you guys. We're either going to do push-ups here for about 30 seconds, or you're going to be doing bench press. Those push-ups can start on your hands, go down to your knees. Really take them as much as you're ready to. That's going to be our next activity. Again, we're just targeting that chest and that tricep area here next. So we're going to be down, and we are going to be beginning in 3, 2, 1. Ten seconds for me, guys. 10 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Right there, guys. Go ahead. Rest here quick. Grab a drink of water. We're going to have a couple torso, mid-torso area to get that core. Again, that's that low back. Those are the obliques and those flexion muscles. We're going to be still here in this downward position. We're going to have those 2 great low back activities that, again, we like to focus on just because they're so well proven. That's either a bird dog or Superman's, Superwoman's. Something might be fun is trying to put those arms out if you're doing those Supermans. Just because we did those wide raises, you might find it a little bit more challenging. But I'm going to let you get in position. Again, that bird dog is a tabletop, opposite arm, opposite leg. We are starting here in 3, 2, 1. Holding. Well, bird dog is a continuous switch. That Superman is a holding here. We got a minute on the clock. And I'm going to give you guys updates as we go on. Some of you, if you're doing that type of wide raise with that Superman, you might feel those same muscles being worked that you did with that wide raise. If you ever feel that that's getting too much, go ahead, bring those arms a little bit more in, something we've done before. But we just hit 40 seconds right there, you guys. 40 seconds. 15 to go. Try to uplift that body a little bit more for these last 10 seconds here, guys. Trying to get those thighs, those arms as high as we possibly can for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest there, guys. And of course, we're going to find ourselves in another postural movement. 1. And that's just that plank. Again, that's because our torso has been activated so much throughout class, just through stabilization, that this can really be a killer here. And I'm going to give this one a minute 30 if we want to try for that, guys. I'm going to keep giving you guys updates throughout, but we're starting here in 3, 2, 1. Let's see if we can't progress some of us to a minute 30. I'm going to give you a count from 30 seconds onwards in case you ever need a little bit of a break. And we'll see if we can't get everybody up for those last 15 seconds. This is your first 30-second reminder here, guys. check this, take this opportunity as it's early still to check your shoulder, hip, ankle position. Make sure we have a pretty much straight line. Those hips might be a little bit off, but that's okay. If they're a little bit up, that's all right. You just hit 45 seconds, guys. That's halfway through from our goal for today. We just hit a minute. If you think you need a break, I'm going to give you a 15-second one. Otherwise, you're going for the full 30 here. And I want everybody up here right now, guys. We're finishing right there. Everybody check your alignment here for this last 15. Check that shoulder to hip to ankle position one more time for me, because you have 5, 4, 3, 2, relax right there, you guys. Grab a water, and you're just going to meet me, again, right in a lunge position. I'm going to give you guys plenty of time to grab that water here. This is just stretching those hip flexors out. You can choose that Spider-Man. But if you need that water break, I'm going to give you a little bit longer on this first stretch for you to grab that. I'm just going to be waiting here for you guys right here. Hey there, Aaron. Just saw your comment in there. Nice to see you. Go ahead, guys. Switch over to that other leg. Again, that's either a lunge position or it can be the deep down in that Spider-Man here. From there, guys, go ahead. Find yourselves down on the ground here. I'm going to give you a second to stretch your shoulders. Before you do that, I want you to pick either a straight leg in front of you or legs spread out. It's kind of like a secondary stretch. But we're also just focusing really on those shoulders right now. And we might get a little bit of an extra stretch just by being in this position. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. Again, that really depends on everyone's flexibility, but at least we can play around with it, see if we can't get a 2-for-1 here. Go ahead, open that up, and when you're opening it up, really open it and switch that over. Go ahead, open that up, put both hands behind you, pulling up as if you're trying to get those arms almost back up over your shoulder. Really gentle with this one though, guys, because we're playing with the front of the shoulder here a little bit, and sometimes with our daily posture that can be a little sensitive, so be mindful of that, but definitely try to get a nice little stretch of that chest shoulder region right up here. Break that one there, you guys. One arm up, hand over, pulling that elbow. And switch it on over. And break there. I'm going to have you guys have one leg out in front here. Now we're actually going to get into that nice hamstring stretch right here. Go ahead. Switch that on over to the other hamstring. And right there, guys, give me a nice butterfly stretch right here. Those adductor stretch. If that one's not quite working for you guys, of course, we always have this one right down the middle. If that butterfly is just feeling a little too easy for you today. And right there, hugging that leg, giving it a nice glute stretch. Or we can rotate in. I know some of us prefer that. And rotate it on over. Same thing, other side. From there, guys, you're going to find yourself in your comfortable position for us to really calm down here, focusing on our breathing and getting that blood targeted right back out to the brain. We got our 4-way neck stretch. We're going to let our chin drip down to our chest so that we can focus on stretching the back of our neck here. Great time if you're struggling before to really try to focus on those deep breaths to try to calm the system down. And right there, go ahead, raise it on up. Same thing, but we're tilting back this time, chin up, eyes to the sky. This is the front of our neck. Recentering right there, one ear, same side shoulder. This is the side of our neck. And up, same thing, over to the other side.